Hey, this is Professor Homa. Welcome to AC04 Countries exercise in Access. We'll learn a little bit about countries as well as working with Access, and this will be a short review of sorting filters and running a query in Access, and it shouldn't take very long. I have my file ready to go here. It's AC04 Countries. I saved it with my last name. If you get this message for Enable Content, just hit that and Enable Content. If you get any message about trusting the document or anything, you could feel free to do that. And what I'm going to do now, when I first see this side over here, there's going to be nothing open when I open the file. I'm going to open one of the tables here, which is the countries table. Notice they have city, province. Just open the countries table by double clicking. And there it is, and here's all my countries. And if you look at the instructions on your list, there'll be basically some questions. And the first question will ask, how many countries are there? This is pretty easy. Just go down to the bottom of your screen in Data Sheet View, and you'll see 1 out of 238. That means there's 238 records. Write that down, and you're done with number 1. Number 2 says how many countries begin with letter B. Well, you could go through and count all of them, or you could highlight the letter B, and I'll highlight the letter B in Brazil. I could find another one that starts with a B, but I'll do that one. And then I'll go up to Filter by Selection. These are all the filters up here, and I'll go to Filter by Selection, and it gives me an option of begins with B. Easy enough. There's 19 of them, countries in the world that begin with the letter B. So put that down. For number 2, that's 19. And of the B's, what are the 2 largest countries? Largest countries would be in terms of area. Now, it already looks like they're sorted in by largest area. If you're not sure, you could right-click on here and go sort largest to smallest, and it doesn't change. So the 2 largest are Brazil and Bolivia in terms of area. So you could put that down. And then also, I did these in reverse order. They're also asking for the 2 largest countries by population. So if I go over here to population, I'll right-click on that field, and I'll do largest to smallest. And the 2 largest by population are Brazil and Bangladesh. So those are the 2 by population, and the 2 by area were, let me double check again. Largest to smallest, they were Brazil and Bolivia. Moving on to number 5, we're going to use an advanced filter sort. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is, because I'm in a filter, remember there's only 19 showing of 238, I'm going to toggle filter to turn it off, and I'll see my full database of 238 countries. And I'm going to go to advanced filter sort. So I'm going to go to advanced and look to advanced filter sort. I know some of these sound the same, but I'm going to use the advanced filter sort. And when you see this, it'll look like, when we worked on a query, it'll look a lot like that. And you'll see some areas down here. It says area, population, country name. If you're missing anything, just double click from this area. If there's something missing like country name, make sure you see country name, population, and area. Those are the 3 you should see. If any of the criteria are populated, just delete it and take that away. And what we want to do is put in a new criteria, and the one I was asking for are what countries have a population of 100 million. Now I could have done 1 billion. Unfortunately, China would be the only one in that list. China is the only one with 1 billion in population. So we'll take away a 0 and do 100 million. And we're going to do basically greater than 100 million. So we'll go to criteria for population, and I'll do greater than, which points to the right. And I'll do 100, and then I'll do 6 zeros after that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 8 zeros altogether. And then I'll toggle filter, because remember, this is a filter, it's not a query. So I'm just going to toggle my filter, and I come up with a total of 10. So the first thing it's asking for the advanced filter is how many are there? There's 10. Which country is the largest in size and area? Well, it looks like it's already organized that way. If you're not sure, right-click and do largest to smallest. But it's actually Russia is the largest in area as far as countries that have 100 million in population. And it says what is the smallest in size. Now I don't have to resort it. I could just look at the bottom, and that would be Bangladesh. All right, and I can toggle filter, and notice the filter still shows here. I could always go and close that. I could close that filter by right-clicking and closing it. And I'll go back so I just see my countries. And there's another filter, advanced filter sort, that's asking population of less than 10,000. So I'm going to go to advanced filter sort, and I have population area. I want to have country name. I want to see what the countries listed, so I'm going to double click on country name, and I'm going to go into population, and this time I'm going to make it less than, which looks like the L on an angle, and 10,000. There's 10 and then a 1, 2, 3 zeros. And I'm going to toggle filter, and I come up with 11. And that's all we need to know. There's 11 countries that are under 10,000. Interesting to note that there's only 48 people that live in that live in a country of Pitcairn Islands. Also, the Holy See, Vatican City, has 0 area. All right, moving on, we're going to run a query. So you can toggle filter and get out of this. You can actually right-click and close the filter tab. And we're going to run a query, which is very much like the advanced filter sort. It's not a whole lot different. Okay, so to run this query of greater than or equal to 1 million in total area, I'm going to go to Create, and I'm going to do Query Design to make a new query. And this table, this Show Table area will come up, and we're going to choose Country from here. And you could double-click, or you could hit the Add button. And once that's there, you could close this. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. And we're going to need 3 fields to be shown, and we're going to use country name, area, and population, and we're going to put in a criteria for area, because that's what we're first looking for, greater than 1 million, greater than or equal to 1 million, so I'm going to do greater than, which points to the right, and then an equal sign, and then 1 million, which is a 1, and then 6 zeros. And we're going to run this query, and we hit the run button. We don't do the toggle, we do the run button, and you can see we have 30. And the first question is, how many records turn up in your query? That would be 30. And then it asks, what are the top 5 countries in area? Now you'd have to go to area, right-click, and do largest to smallest. And your 5 countries would be these 5 records here. Russia, Canada, China, United States, and Brazil are the top 5 countries in terms of area, the largest countries on our planet. And then we're also going to, from this list, not the 5 countries, but of all of them, we're going to find the least populated country of all these in the list. And I could probably just look at this list, but I'm going to go to population and right-click and do smallest to largest. And you can see Greenland has the least population of these very large countries. So that's the one where, if you like being alone, Greenland would be the place to be. Lots of space without a lot of people. You don't want to. China, very crowded. Greenland, lots of space, only 58,000 people. That's a football stadium, and it's a very large country. Okay, and I think that's all we need from our list. If you want to save your query, which it asks us to do, you just right-click right on the Query tab, and you do Save. And I'm just going to call it Largest Countries. And I'll put it all together. I won't put any spaces in there. Largest Countries, and I'll hit OK. And that basically saves it, and there you can see it's in the object list of queries in addition to tables. And now we're all done. If you want to close that, right-click, close. You're better off always closing the query first and then closing the table. Here's the table object we had open. We could close that, right-click, close. And you want to save changes? Yeah, we'll save changes. That will keep our query that's in there. And then we're just going to close out. I'm just going to X out of the file. Or you could do File Close this way. And then we're all done.